Hello and happy Sunday. This is Kelly with IfYouHaveAnEgg.com, and today is Sunday, May the 21st. Somehow May's already almost over again. But anyway, hello and happy Sunday, everybody. Facebook has changed again, so it's not showing up the same way, and I don't think it is sharing to our group. Whatever. Okay, Facebook, enough with the updates. I know it's probably for our good, but it drives me crazy. But anyway, hello and happy Sunday, everybody. I hope y'all had a great week. Hello, Anna. The weather was fantastic here in Knoxville this week. Missed you all last week while we were celebrating Mother's Day, but I had a fantastic time with my three favorite girls on the planet. Hello, Jonna. Hello, Mary Ann is here. Lisa is here. Hello, Lisa from Arkansas. Again, I hope everybody who is a mom, who's a grandma, who subs as a mom. Hello, Sylvia. Hello, Debbie. Debbie says it is hard to hear me. Let me see if I can get this turned up, because again, Facebook has updated again. Hello, Christy. Hello, Elaine. Let's see. Let me see if I can work on here this just a second. Hello, Elaine. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Sylvia. Let's see. Hello, Sandra from Dingman-Sperry. Thank you, Sylvia. Yes, this is the shortest it's been since I was in like 4th grade. And hello, Samantha. Okay, y'all let me know. Is that any better on the volume now? Facebook has, okay, good. So Sylvia can hear me fine. Yeah, Facebook has updated again. And hello, Carol. Thank you very much. Hello, Marlene from Florida. So it's updated again. So it did not let me in the same way that it's let me in the last couple of times. I don't know. Whatever. Hello, Katie. Good to see you. Happy Sunday. But again, hello and happy Sunday, everybody. I'm Kelly with IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. If you're brand new, let us know, because we would love to welcome you. Also, if you're brand new, this is my new hair. So my hair was like this long. Thank you, Marianne. My hair was this long, and now it's like, well, obviously it's like this long. And no, Vicki, I didn't color it. All that old ratty old color is just gone. So, and yeah, Vicki, thank you. So happy Sunday, everybody. Weather was fantastic today. Karen and I walked, and thank you, Sandra, for letting me know that you can hear me okay. Karen and I walked. The weather was so nice that, let's see, we walked a little over 2 miles. Hello, Penny. It's good to see you. And hello, Lisa. We walked a little over 2 miles just because the weather was so pretty. We did that this afternoon, and thank you very much, Sandra. And thank you, Elaine. Yeah, and thank you very much, Orlando Debbie. So it's a lot shorter than I wanted it. I had asked Casey to cut it to right here, and she got a little excited. But anyway, I'll try not to keep playing with it, but it's very different for me not to have it this long. Okay, so today is Sunday, May the 21st. Again, if you're brand new, please let us know, because we would love to welcome you. We're a very welcoming crowd here. And my little bit of news that I have for May means we might get some new people. I don't know. But I hope everybody had a fantastic week. Hello, Kathy, and thank you very much. I hope everybody had a great week. And if you're a mom or a grandma, or if you just help out as a mom, I hope you had a great Mother's Day last Sunday. And thank you all again very much for letting me take it off. We had a great time with my 3 favorite girls, and poor John, we drug him along with us. So he was the only boy. We even left Dusty at Casey's house. So John was the only boy, and he was a trooper with all 3 of us girls all day. And again, today is Sunday, May the 21st. We're kicking it through May already. I have some strange news. So Weight Watchers, I don't know if you know this or not, but Weight Watchers celebrated its 60th anniversary this past week. So it's been 60 years since that very first meeting of a few women in the basement of Jean Niditch, and I know I'm not pronouncing her name correctly, but since that very first meeting at Jean Niditch's in her basement, and that was back in 1963. So while Weight Watchers was celebrating their 60th anniversary since that, another weight loss staple, Jenny Craig, just suddenly closed their doors. I mean, it seemed sudden to me. I don't know if I just missed some news or something. And hello, Lynn. I don't know if I just missed some news or something, but it seemed sudden to me. And the customers were all told all auto delivery subscriptions have been canceled, and that all coaching sessions, food orders, and merchandise sales have ceased. They just stopped them, immediately ceased them online and in corporate centers. Hello, Roberta. So at a time when many of us have already lost our personal meetings. Now, I'm fortunate. I'm in a franchise location, so our meetings are good to go right now. As Gwen says, if you operate on a shoestring budget, then when times get tough, you already know how to operate on a shoestring budget. But at a time when many of us have lost our meetings, please reach out to your Jenny Craig friends. So if you know anybody that was doing Jenny Craig, that was a member of Jenny Craig, that was relying on that, if they were relying on those meetings, if they were relying on a workshop meeting with Jenny Craig, or a virtual meeting, reach out to those people and tell them they are more than welcome to join us here on Sunday nights, and to watch on YouTube and everything. It's obviously free. I mean, it's free for everyone, but please invite them to join in our fun and fellowship. I can't imagine, it just gone, and they can't even get their food orders fulfilled. But this is not just a Weight Watchers group, so we're not just a Weight Watchers support group. And you ladies and gents are providers of a huge amount of support. So I would love it if you all would talk to some of your, Jenny Craig friends who are just suddenly abandoned, and I think like 1,000 people lost their jobs when this happened. So I don't know, it just felt kind of sudden to me. So that was a little bit of news that I had for this month, for still here in May, for May the 21st. Also, I don't know if it is in your area or not, but we are well into strawberry season here in East Tennessee, and our little plants down at our shared garden with our neighbor, they tried to outdo themselves, and had a little bit of a hiccup because it was 85 degrees, like all of a sudden was 85 degrees 3 days in a row. And I don't know if you know that old wives' tale, but supposedly once the temperature hits and stays 85, strawberry plants quit producing. I went by there today, and where they were producing strawberries so fast that they were producing them so fast that hold on a second, I may get a chance to join you here on the iPad. But anyway, they were producing strawberries so fast that while I was picking them, I swore that more of them were ripening while we were picking them. But anyway, they okay, so Sandra said there are a lot of people on the chat. Good, so maybe that means that people are actually being able to get on from the group as well. But anyway, so the little strawberry plants were just putting out as fast as they could, and then we suddenly had, and the weather here's been pretty cool, and then suddenly it was 85 at least, like 3 days in a row. Hello, Sandra. And so they've kind of slowed down. But I wanted to remind you all, and this is just a little bit more news. I wanted to remind you all, as strawberries are coming in, the best way to keep them fresh is to not wash them, whether you pick them or if you bought them somewhere, is to not wash them, leave the caps on, and put them in a glass jar. Actually, I didn't grab mine. Let me go grab it real quick. I promise I am coming right back. So I wanted to show you all again. Oh, and John is not home. He is in New Mexico, so you all are going to get to hear Dusty wandering around today. But these I picked a week ago, did not wash them, put them straight into a glass mason jar, unwashed. You can see that the caps are still on there. I've had these for a week. Thank you, Mary. I've had these in this glass jar for a week, and look, there's no juice coming out. They are perfect. They are just as they were the day that they were picked. So that was a little bit of other news, was to let y'all know, if you're picking strawberries, gathering strawberries, or if you're purchasing strawberries, the best way to keep them is, and you're welcome, Sarah, the best way to keep them is don't wash them, put them straight into a glass jar. Can be a mason jar. I've got another little group of them that my neighbor had picked a couple of days before that, and yes, you have to refrigerate it. That's a great question, Vicki. That is an excellent question. Yes, you have to refrigerate it. But she had picked a couple of days before that, and she put them in a small jar, a small glass container that I don't have a lid for, and so I just took one of my food huggers, stuck it over the top. It just needs to be, kind of airtight. And yes, Vicki, that was a great question. You do need to put them in the refrigerator. But the longest that I kept some good last year was, I want to say like 4 weeks. I want to say I had a batch of them that lasted for 4 weeks. Because if you remember last year, we could not consume strawberries fast enough. I don't remember what the chat number was last year for all the strawberry chats, but we picked strawberries. We ate strawberries, we made strawberry freezer jam, we made strawberry salsa. I mean, we made so many things out of strawberries. And I will tell you that we actually, before our plants started putting out in the garden this year, I bought strawberries that were from, I think they were from, let me think, South Carolina. fantastic. They were fantastic. Okay, so let's get going, everybody. If you attended an in-person workshop last week, give me a thumbs up. And if you are brand new with us, you've got little buttons down here at the bottom where you can do thumbs ups. You can do, like, I'll just go ahead and do one because I did attend last week. You can do thumbs ups, you can do hearts, you can do, well, actually, okay, because Facebook has updated again, it's not letting me do the thumbs ups. But thumbs ups, let's see, Mindy says, our strawberry season down here has been so long this year. Yeah, have y'all had some good warm weather? So thumbs ups if you went to an in-person workshop last week. Sarah went to one. Or if you went to a Zoom workshop, and Lynn is thumbs ups and green hearts, so awesome on the green hearts. Give me some hearts if you went to, if you attended here with us live 2 weeks ago, or if you watched later on demand, give me some hearts for that. So I'm seeing lots. Oh, and Marianne's bottom was in a green chair. Oh, and I have to ask, is Sherry here, and has anybody heard how she is? So 2 weeks ago, and I'm sorry to interrupt while I'm talking. Oh, good. Sarah didn't go in person, but was on a Zoom this morning. Perfect. That's perfect. That counts, Sarah. That's exactly right. If you went, oh, good. There's Sherry. So, oh no. Carol Lou says, I saw. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna give out the bravos first before we switch subjects on that. But bravo to everyone who went to an in-person workshop. So Sherry, was it you that was sick? That was sick 2 weeks ago? I need you to report in if it was you. I was pretty sure it was you. That's 2 weeks ago memory though. But bravo stickers to everybody who went to an in-person workshop, attended a virtual workshop. If you went to Gwen's workshop on Thursday, I was there. Mindy was not. I think she got busy, but bravo stickers to all of y'all that went to in-person workshops, Zoom meetings, or attended here with us live 2 weeks ago. Okay, so Sherry, bravo again. Okay, check in. I haven't heard from you, so how's it going? And aloha, Kathy. So let us know how you're doing, because 2 weeks ago, I keep saying last week, 2 weeks ago when we were here, you kind of had me freaked out, and then I didn't hear anything for 2 weeks. So just saying, you just need to check in. Okay, so last week, or 2 weeks ago, was chat number... Oh, and Mindy says this week she will be there. Wait, you will be there or won't be there because you're cruising? That sounds like fun. But 2 weeks ago, we were talking about the No More Blame game. And I told you all a little story. I told you a little story about Kimmy and that she had taken somebody's, oh yeah, and Debbie's got a thing about strawberries. Oh, that's chat number 273, 20. In 2022 is chat numbers 272 and 273. Oh, you were cursing. Okay. Thank you very much, Debbie, and thank you, Sherry. Thank you, Debbie, for sharing that. And Sherry, thank you. You will tell me later what's going on. Okay, give me an update on that. But yeah, so we were talking about silly Kimmy. So Kimmy had gotten caught kind of red-handed, except it was Irish gold-handed in someone else's butter, and made up a couple of excuses for what happened. But we talked last week or 2 weeks ago about not being Kimmy. Don't be a Kimmy, and just go ahead. Something happens, life is going to happen. We're not all perfect. We're not here because we're perfect, okay? We're here because we're normal, very normal people. So instead of saying, I don't know what happened, or it was him, or it was her, or, pointing at somebody else and blaming it on somebody else, kind of, fess it up. Don't wallow around in your guilt, and just make yourself feel, worse about it. So you got to think, what would Kimmy do, or what should Kimmy do, or what would I do in this situation? So, when questioned, hopefully there's not a next time, but it could happen. When questioned next time, what should Kimmy do? Kimmy should admit, you know what, I ate it. It's time to move on. I got to write it down. Got to admit, fess up to what happened. Don't skip a weigh-in. Go ahead and go to weigh-in. Don't miss tracking it. Go ahead and track it. Just go ahead and face it. So last week I asked you for your homework what WWID, so like WWJD, and Lisa, it is Irish butter. It was so good. It is so good. It's Kerrygold Irish butter. But last week I asked you all to say WWID, what would I do? So like in that same situation, what would I do? And I just wanted you to kind of step back a minute and think about how Kimmy got in this situation, so how she landed herself in this situation, and think about a time, you know, maybe when that happened to you and what you could do next time to avoid the blame game and just get right back on track. And that's exactly what Marianne said. Marianne did her homework, and she said that when things like that happen, now she didn't have an exact, you know, Kimmy moment like that, but she said when things like that happen, she tries to track them, go ahead and get it written down, go ahead and go do, you know, get back to normal life and just get right back on track. Deanna, though, had a very specific Kimmy moment. She had run out of her spritz butter for her popcorn, and so instead she decided that she would mix what, I can't believe it's not butter, and something else, water, I don't remember what it was, but she mixed two things together. A, it made her popcorn a soggy mess. B, she no longer has her gallbladder, so her tummy told her about it the next day. It was very vocal about it the next day. So she stepped back and said, you know what, maybe I should handle this differently, you know, next time, you know, and not just go ahead, you know, not just go ahead and do this. So she had a what would I do moment with that. But thank you everybody for doing your homework. This one was not very popular with the homework. I don't know if everybody was a little bit nervous about being Kimmy, but thank you to those of you who did. Here are your extra Bravo badges for doing that. And Casey's been making some really cute ones, so you definitely want to do your homework so you can get your super cute Bravo badges. This week, though, we're talking about no more forbidden foods. So I need everybody to run. I know I didn't warn you, but I need everybody to get literally a piece of scrap paper, a napkin, anything. So, you know, just to show you solidarity, I have a napkin. So I want you to take a napkin. I want you to take a piece of scrap paper, a napkin, the back of an envelope, anything, just anything, and I want you to write down 3 foods that you either promised yourself you would never eat again, or you just thought you would never eat it again once you joined Weight Watchers, okay? So I'm going to give you just a minute, and if you're watching this later, on YouTube, that's just youtube.com, search If You Have an Egg, go ahead and do this little exercise while you're watching. If you're driving while you're listening to this, don't do this, please. Okay, so I want you to write down on anything, scrap paper, a napkin, anything, 3 foods that you thought would be completely off your list, you know, you would never be able to eat them again, or, you know, you either promised yourself you would never eat them again, or you thought that you would never get to eat them again once you joined Weight Watchers. Okay, so I want you to write down those 3 foods. And I am joining you. And I'm not writing them backwards, so you're not, so since we're on, hello Marlene, since we're on Facebook, I didn't write it backwards so that it would be correct, you know. Oops. Okay, so who's got their 3 foods? I need to see a couple of them. Who has their 3 foods that they either promised themselves they would never eat again or thought that they would never be able to eat again? Thank you, Cheryl. Casey cut like 8 inches off of my hair. Thank you very much. So it was a little bit shocking at first. Okay, give me just a couple of people. So, okay, so Sylvia said chips, regular creamer, and iced coffee from Sonic. Okay, Mary said spaghetti. I'll give you 2 more people. Okay, Vicky said chips, candy, and ice cream. Mary said candy. And Sherry said cake, pie, and fried chicken. Sarah says chips, any takeout, or pizza. Lisa says pizza, mac and cheese, or pasta. And Marianne says donuts, pie, chips. And Gail says beer, cream, and donuts. So Gail, like cream, like do you mean cream like for coffee? Or how are you using that? Christy says butter cookies, ice cream, and pie. Elaine says pizza, breads, and Sandra says candy, pasta, and chips. Okay, so my 3 were, and I know it's backwards, just on my napkin, my 3 were pizza, ice cream, and nachos. Okay, so those were 3 things that I thought, well, I'll never, oh, and Sarah says, and what everyone else said too. So those were 3 things that I thought, well, I'll never get to eat those again. As soon as I joined Weight Watchers, I thought, well, there goes that. You know, I'm never going to eat that again. Okay, so does everybody have a list? Heavy cream. Gail, okay, yeah, heavy cream. Yeah, that's a good one. And Gail, let me write that down because I want to circle back around to that. Gale and heavy cream. Because that's a good one. Okay, everybody has their list, right? You all wrote them down? Okay? So here's your list. This is what I want you to do next. I want you to hold up your piece of paper. Y'all have been shouting out your 3 words, or your 3 foods. So hold up your piece of paper. Roberta says pizza, donut, and chip. Pizza, donuts, and chips. Okay, hold up your piece of paper, and then I want you to rip it in half, okay? There are no-fly foods, period, with Weight Watchers, okay? Yeah, and Debbie just said I eat nachos at least 2 times a week. Yeah, exactly. So rip up your list, because there are no forbidden foods. There are no foods on the no-fly list. We've got a no-fly list at work. Like, if you need the name of a bad contractor, I have a no-fly list. These are people that we will not do work for. Okay, so rip up your list, because you don't need it unless you just need to refer back to it. So the first thing you need to do is rip up your forbidden foods list, okay? Doesn't exist anymore. There are no more forbidden foods. The second thing is, what you can do is build, like, one suggestion that I would have is to build a budget. So the perfect way to make all foods inclusive on your WW plan is to budget for them, okay? That's a perfect way to make all foods be able to be included. So here are just a couple of ideas that I have and others have. I got some of these from our in-person workshop on Tuesday for being able to budget. One is, if you can, plan ahead, and this one was very popular at our in-person workshop with Gwen. If you can plan ahead, let some of your dailies roll over and use those. So you can have anything you want, you just have to plan for it. The second thought was to plan a smaller serving that will satisfy your taste buds but not blow your budget. So a couple of people were talking about just having a smaller serving of whatever it was. Maybe maybe putting it in a smaller bowl and then filling up the rest of their plate with fruit or steamed veggies or something that was 0 points. Yeah, and Debbie says not the same amount as before. It's exactly right. So that was the second thing on my budgeting plan. Third thing, okay, and Sylvia says, ask yourself, do I want to spend those points? Perfect. The third idea that we had from our in-person meeting was budget a meal or a time when you can enjoy this food with witnesses. That one's extremely important to me. So I don't eat pizza, ice cream, or nachos by myself. And thank you, Marlene. I don't eat those 3 by myself. I just don't eat them by myself. So I always budget some time when I know I'm going to have witnesses that will see me eating, and it's not because it's people that are going to tattle on me, but I behave and eat differently when other people are with me when I'm eating. I don't know if y'all feel that way or not. The third thing, though, is to find your way. So I want you to find your way. To your non-forbidden foods, and so I want you to find your way when there is no other way. One of my favorite songs right now is I don't know how you'll make a way, but I know you will, and you're going to make a way when there is no other way. So I want you to find your way when you think there's no other way, when you think, I'll never be able to have pizza again, I will never be able to eat ice cream again, I will never be able to do any of these things. So I've seen some things that I thought that would never be Weight Watchers friendly. They have found their way to my plate again. Orlando Debbie's exactly right. She said use chicken breast instead of beef, or do a combo to cut down on points. That's exactly right. So things that you can do to help find your way. Orlando Debbie nailed it. She just gave you a great idea. Pizza, I like to cut pizza into 2 slices. So if you take a regular slice of pizza, Sarah says, I live alone. It's easier to overdo it, but she's careful. That's great. But on a piece of pizza, John and I used to just stand at the end of our island. So if you're brand new and don't know this, we live in a tiny loft, and we do not have our set up at our new offices yet. So so y'all are stuck here with me at home again. But as far as pizza, we should just set the box out on the end of our counter down here, and we would, Carol Lou, I'm sorry. Yes. Okay. I'm trying to figure out how to make pierogies because one of our friends brings them to me, and I love them. And I cook mine in the air fryer, so that automatically cuts down on some of the points. But anyway, so we used to open the box and just set it at the end of the island, and we would just walk around and eat it. Well, before you knew what was going on, the pizza was gone. So now, one of the things I do to find my way is I get the piece of pizza or 2 pieces of pizza and I cut them in half, and cutting the pizza in half, I understand it's 1 piece of pizza or 2 pieces of pizza, but my brain goes, oh, that's 4 pieces of pizza. It's not. It's 2 pieces of pizza. So that, and also pairing it with like a salad or some fruit or something like that, just to make it look bigger. So that's one way that I find my way so that I can have real pizza. I saw a bunch of people doing like tortilla pizzas. I posted the other day, it was National Pizza Party Day, I think. I posted a recipe for a 2-ingredient dough pizza that I like to make, but lots of different ways to lighten up pizza. Yeah, and Lisa says a smaller plate. Exactly right. Another way is to do a lightened up version of a point heavy food using chicken breast, like Orlando Debbie just said, sugar-free sauces like G. Hughes or something like that, or air frying instead of deep frying. So like those pierogies, I spritz them with a little bit of olive oil spray, pop them in my air fryer. They are perfect and they're not deep fried. So there's a lot of things that I do in the air fryer, French fries, things like that, do them in the air fryer instead of frying them. Saves a ton of points, and that way everything is on my menu, all of it. And then the last thing is saving things that are only best unchanged. So things like that Kerrygold butter, fancy cheeses, things like that. I save things like that for special occasions like on vacation or once a year family get together or a birthday or something like that. So that's another way to find your way, because it can still find its way to your plate, but you just have to find a way to get it there. So that's your homework for this week, is hashtag find your way. So you're going to find a way to get these things back on your plate. That doesn't mean you're eating them every day. It doesn't mean that Carol Lou and I are eating pierogies every day. Might just be on a special occasion, might be an altered version of it, might be a lightened up version of it, but and nachos, Debbie and I can talk about nachos all day long, but like ice cream, I eat ice cream, but I only eat it out. I eat it out so I can get 1 scoop, and I always have witnesses. Like I would not just walk and go get ice cream and eat it by myself. Thank you, Lynn, for posting that. But the homework this week is hashtag find your way, FINDYOURDAY. So hashtag find your way. Gail said something about heavy cream. Gail, I don't use heavy cream in a lot, but I will tell you, or I will ask, have you ever tried fat-free half and half? And I'm trying to think who makes that. I use it in gravy. I don't put creamer in my coffee, so I don't really have that problem, but I use it in gravy. I use anything that would take heavy cream. I substitute fat-free half and half, and it's been fantastic. I think everything that I've made with that has turned out great. So Gail, maybe try that. But your homework again, hashtag find your way. I want you to name a food that was on your ripped up list. And I want you to find your way to having it back on your plate. So either it's going to be a smaller portion, or it's going to be with witnesses, or you're going to cook it in the air fryer instead of deep fat frying it, some way, or just make it for just a special occasion. So I want you to find something that was on your list, on your ripped up list, and tell us when you're going to eat it. Oh, Gail has fat-free half and half on cereal. Interesting. I've never tried that. But pick something that was on your list and tell us how you're going to make it find your way. It's going to find its way back to your plate. So hashtag find your way. Okay, and that is your homework for this week. If you are doing your homework on Instagram, just tag me at IfYouHaveAnEgg, and it will I'll be notified when you do that. If it's here on the If You Have an Egg page, if you just comment, I will know it. And yes, Sandra, I'm getting parched, so it is time to drink some water. Or if you are over in our closed Facebook group, the If You Have an Egg Facebook group, you can do the little @ symbol and then type in If You Have an Egg or Kelly Green Milligan, and it will notify me and I will find out. So if you're new, we are at the halfway point. If you're watching this on, wait a second, let's see, Loretta says, I had 0 point foods, and for supper, I used my points on a personal pizza. That's perfect. That is actually, you did your homework. So I will have to remember to circle back around and go ahead and give you your badge when Casey gets it done. Whew, but we are at the halfway point. If you were watching this on YouTube, that's just youtube.com, search If You Have an Egg. We take a small break. So everybody take a little break, get you some water. I've been talking, I know I talk a lot every time, but I feel like I'm talking a lot and really fast. So get a drink of water. Okay, So at the halfway point, we are also going to put on the apron. So I have to know, where are my wanted to try tofu people? So raise your hand if you were one of the people who wanted to know how to make tofu. I'm pretty sure Jonna was one of them. Yep. Sarah says if you plan the day out with points, it can be done. It sure can be done, Sarah. Okay, so let me see, where are my we need to know how to make tofu people? Sandra was one of them. Okay, so what we're gonna make tonight includes tofu. This is not just about tofu, and Vicky was one. It includes tofu. So I'm going to show you all one way. I'm going to show you one way to make tofu, and then I'm going to include it in what we are making for the second half. So first thing is, I'm going to show you how to make baked tofu. Now I've already cheated and gotten this a little bit prepped ahead of time, but if you were one of my curious tofu people, pay attention. Okay, Loretta was one of them. Okay. So I can't show you start to finish, or we would be here like all night, or we would have needed to take the entire hour chat to do this. But for tonight's recipe, we're going to be including baked tofu. The recipe link that I shared with several of you all who had asked about tofu, that was a stir fry way to make it. Baked is also really good. Baked tofu comes out the way I'm going to show you how to make it. It comes out a little bit crispy. It's got a really nice texture to it, and it's got a little bit of flavor to it, so it doesn't just taste like raw eggs, you know. So while you would never, I knew you were, I knew Jonna was a curious, I am a curious tofu. I knew you were, I remembered that you were. So this is baked tofu. The recipe that I shared with you, and I'm pretty sure I shared it with you, Jonna, was for a stir fry tofu. This one is a little bit easier to make because it doesn't need your attention. And it comes out pretty crispy. I think you all are going to like it, those of you who are a little bit skeptical about tofu. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to start with extra firm tofu. And the second half of tonight's chat is not about tofu, okay? This is one part of what we're going to end up making. But you want to start with extra firm tofu. Nasoya makes some good tofu. I got mine at Trader Joe's, but you want extra firm. See, Sarah says, I wonder how sodium is on tofu. I don't know. Let me see if I can look at it real quick. Y'all know I don't add sodium to anything, but that's not one of the things that I'm super paying attention to. So let's see. The brand I bought was Trader Joe's, and the sodium is 15 milligrams, so not bad. I don't think tofu doesn't seem salty to me. It's just, I don't know, it just doesn't seem salty. Okay, so the first thing you want to do, believe it or not, this is tofu. You're going to take extra firm tofu and drain it. So mine's already drained. Then you're going to take something clean, some kind of a clean cloth that doesn't, like cheesecloth is fine. I don't really like cheesecloth because it's kind of I don't know, it's just kind of messy. Oh, no, Gail. I've never actually made tofu. We're going to make tofu. But so you're going to take some kind of a clean cloth that's not going to like peel or have lint, or anything like that. So this is just a cheap washcloth. Do not tell Alyssa that I use this, but it is not fuzzy in any way, shape, or form. So it's perfect for this. And you just wrap the tofu up in it and then set something heavy on it. Not heavy like to squish it, but you're just trying to squish out some of that extra moisture. And this, if I wring this out for you all right now, this is soaking wet. I use something like this, or I use Swedish dishcloths or something like that, because then I can throw them in the washer when I'm done. Okay, then, so now you have, let's see, hold on a second. Loretta's husband's cardiologist eats tofu. But a coworker told her it's not good for anyone who had cancer. So I know that there are some people who should not consume a lot of it, but that's a little outside of my area of expertise, so I don't know. We'll have to check on that. But so now you just have a firm block of tofu, and the first thing I do is turn it on its side like this and cut it in half. Then I'm going to turn it back flat and cut it in half again. So I've cut it in half both directions. And then we're just going to make cubes. So now that it's been cut in half both directions, it's going to make cubes. You can make them like half an inch thick, you know, something like that. So now the pieces should be about that big, okay? Yeah, Debbie said her friend that had breast cancer and she cannot eat tofu or any soy. So Debbie, do you know why that is? I think I've heard that before, but I can't remember why that is. And that would be so sad for somebody who's trying to be meatless. Okay, Loretta, don't do it. Loretta says, how does it taste like that? You're not going to talk me into doing that. I am not, nope. I am not eating raw tofu. That just seems icky to me. Okay. Then we're going to spritz it. Just put it in a bowl or something, or a bag. You could put it in like a zippered bag. Spritz it with just a little bit of olive oil. Okay, Gail says she thinks it's because soy has natural estrogen in it. Okay, that makes total sense. But that would be so sad for somebody who was trying to not eat meat, who had had breast cancer, to not be able to eat that. So I don't know if anybody knows what they would do differently in that situation. Let me know. Okay, so we've got extra firm tofu that has been, it's been like the liquid squished out of it. Cut it lengthways, sideways, then like this, and made little, so we've got little tofu squares now. And I spritzed it with some olive oil. Then we're going to take some Bragg liquid aminos. If you don't have Bragg liquid aminos, or if you just have soy sauce or prefer it, you can totally use that. And depends on how much tofu you have. You want about a tablespoon. Then I'm going to add about a tablespoon of nutritional yeast. And if you don't know what nutritional yeast is, we have a chat for that. And then we're going to add about a tablespoon of cornstarch. You can use arrowroot too, but I did not have that. The cornstarch and the Bragg nutritional yeast is to help kind of crisp it up in the oven, because remember, this is baked tofu. And then we're just going to gently toss all that together. To kind of coat it. So we've got extra firm tofu, Bragg, or a little tiny bit of olive oil, Bragg liquid aminos. Did I already say? Ooh, yeah, Sandra says she has to limit the amount of soy or it really upsets her stomach. That's strange. That's interesting to know though. Okay, and then you're going to preheat your oven to 400 degrees. And we're going to put the tofu flat on, I like to put it on parchment paper, on a cookie sheet. So 400 degrees, flat on a cookie sheet. Again, it's tofu cut into cubes. Oops, I'll try to hurry this up because I'm eating into our other time. So extra firm tofu, drained, cut into little cubes, Bragg liquid aminos, a little bit of olive oil, spritz with olive oil, some cornstarch, let's see, oh no, Loretta says, yes, you can air fry, Melissa, but the air fryer it's a little bit, I don't know, tricky with tofu. It's weird. The tofu doesn't want to get as crispy. I do like it in the air fryer, but baked for some reason just comes out crispier. Okay, and you can, I don't know if y'all can hear him or not, but Dusty thinks that this is meat. Actually, we used to have a dog named Dee Dee who had to have all of her food. She had congenital heart failure, and all of her food had to be made, and she loved tofu. My mom used to bake her tofu every single week. She baked tofu for her. Okay, so we've got that on the cookie sheet, on the parchment paper. If you want it to be a little extra crispy, you can add just a little bit more of the cornstarch to the top of it. just helps with the crispy. Again, arrowroot works the same way. But Loretta says she eats a lot of salmon and she must have a lot of mercury in her. Ooh, I hope not. I hope the salmon that you're eating doesn't have mercury in it. Okay, so just going to crisp it up just a little bit more, and then the Bragg nutritional yeast helps with the same thing. Okay, so we have got that ready to go. Now we're going to stick it in the oven. And you're going to cook it on 400 degrees for about 30 minutes, and at the 15-minute mark you're going to flip it. So I need a timer. Who can time 15 minutes for me? So let me know if you can be my 15-minute person. And look, even though we haven't reached the first 15 minutes, through the magic of television, baked tofu. We already have some baked tofu ready to go that I made before the chat so that it would be good and cooled off. Okay, so I need my timer person who's going to count 15 minutes for me so that we can get it out and flip it. So what tonight's recipe actually is not baked tofu, even though I just told you how to make it. Tonight's recipe is actually going to be a baked tofu Mediterranean salad. So you know, we have been talking about salads, getting ready for this summer and getting some, you know, fresh vegetables and fresh fruits and things like that, and getting ready for it, just getting ready for summer. So this is one of those getting ready for summer things. Hold on a second. Okay, so this is one of those getting ready for summer things, a Mediterranean salad. So yummy, so light, so fresh. Love the flavors in them. I love that kind of Mediterranean, I don't know, there's just something about it. Just a fantastic taste. I'm going to start with a simple bagged salad because my neighbor Nicole and I started our garden a little late this year, and so while other people are harvesting their beautiful greens, we do not have any. But this was a salad starter that I got at Kroger, and it's Simple Truth, so it's the Kroger brand. If you have Meyer, I believe that's the same thing as Kroger, but this one just looked like it would be a good Mediterranean salad to me. It's got frise, radicchio, broccoli, cauliflower, and red cabbage. So it just looked really pretty. I don't know, it just looked really just Mediterranean to me. So we're going to start with a nice, thank you, thanks Debbie. Going to start with a nice salad base, and again, if you were lucky enough to get your garden started early, then maybe you've already got a nice salad base to go with. Then to make it into a nice Mediterranean flavor, the first thing I'm going to add, so this is 0 points because this is all different kinds of lettuces, and I may have to go put Dusty on the couch. Hold on a second. Where'd you go, buddy? Hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. John is in Santa Fe, New Mexico this week, and old man doesn't know what to do without him here. Okay, let's see. Debbie says Kroger, Meyer, and Fred's are all owned by Kroger. Good to know. Okay, so 0 points because this is all greens, okay, and purples, you know, but 0 points. Then I'm going to add some chickpeas. Oh, hold on. Sarah wants to see Dusty. I'll bring Dusty over here when we're done because I don't need him in the middle of this food. I'm telling you, he will eat this tofu. It is that good. So I rinsed a can of chickpeas. I rinsed a can of those. Still 0 points. So I'm just going to add some chickpeas to my salad. Okay, so a can of chickpeas, 0 points. Okay, then I'm going to add a can. I'm going to add a can of artichoke hearts, and the artichoke hearts, I'm just going to barely dice them a little bit. Didn't mean to throw that one at you. Just going to barely chop them a little bit before I put them in there. But artichoke hearts are they are a great addition to kind of a Mediterranean salad. I've seen a lot of people talking about hearts of palm the last couple of weeks. I did not have any of that to add for this salad, so we're just going to do artichoke hearts. So have you all throw what liquid away? What liquid? Debbie says don't throw the liquid away. Use it to make mayonnaise. What liquid are you talking about? Are you talking about from the chickpeas? Explain how to make mayonnaise. Because I still have the liquid. Okay, so a can of artichoke hearts, or a jar of artichoke hearts if that's how you buy them. Or if you like hearts of palm, you could do that. Oop, there's still more in here. Ooh, yeah, Debbie says that you can use... Debbie, okay, explain, Debbie. Yeah, Jonah says the same thing. Yes, how do we make mayo? Okay, Debbie, while I'm chopping up artichoke hearts, and these are baby artichoke hearts, while I'm chopping these up, please explain how we make mayonnaise out of our chickpea juice. So tell us, oh wise one. Oh yeah, Loretta wants to know too. You've got quite a little audience here now wanting to know how to do that, and I only have got 4 more artichoke hearts, so you've got plenty of time to tell us. These smell so good. I forget how much I like artichokes until I have them. And I know somebody's going to ask me. The artichoke hearts do have more sodium. It's like 300 maybe. I don't know. That writing's so tiny. The writing is so tiny that's hard to see. Okay, so artichoke hearts are almost in. And you know, I don't know if y'all realize this or not, but Memorial Day, oh, Debbie's looking for the recipe. Memorial Day is Monday, so that means this coming weekend is Memorial Day weekend. This would be a great salad to take to a Memorial Day party. It's going to be something, you know, kind of fun and interesting, and it's also going to be colorful by the time we get done with it. Okay, so now we've got our artichoke hearts in there. Okay, then next, I'm going to add some mild banana pepper rings, and my neighbor and I are growing banana peppers down in our garden. We are also growing jalapeno peppers. We're growing banana peppers. We've got, oh gosh, bell peppers. We have pimentos. I've never grown pimentos before, but we're also growing those. So we're going to add some banana peppers to this. And banana peppers are not hot, so, or I don't think. These are sweet banana peppers, mild banana peppers. So if you don't like hot stuff, you might want to try it first, just to see, you know, to see how many you want in your recipe. Okay, and then the first thing that I'm putting in here that has points, this is going to be the first thing that has points. So you know when we were talking about no more forbidden foods, well, everything that's in here so far is all 0 points so far, and Loretta says that's her kind of salad. So that is all 0 points so far. So now we can add, let's see, Lynn says Memorial Day is the 29th, isn't it? Wait, so is that in 2 weeks? I guess is that in 2 weeks, Lynn? Yeah, sorry, not tomorrow. When I said this next Monday, I meant like next Monday, so like a week from tomorrow. Okay, and then I'm going to put some sliced Kalamata olives, and the Kalamata olives, it's 10 of these are 1 point, but this is going to be, so I'm not even counting. I'm not even counting how many olives are going to go in here, because by the time I get done with this salad, this is going to serve like 10 people. This is going to be enough salad to serve 10 people, or like 5 super big salads. If I was going to be eating this salad by myself, yeah, a week from Monday, sorry, then I might, you know, I might count how many. Okay, but we've got room for things with points, because we've got everything else is 0 points. So far everything is 0 points. A nice salad mix, artichoke hearts, mild banana peppers, chickpeas. We just added some sliced Kalamata olives. If you like green olives better, you could do the green olives. They don't have to be Kalamatas. Then I do have some reduced fat feta, and that was the Athenos brand again. I'm going to add some of that on there. And again, you can measure. You can certainly measure, but since this is going to be a big salad that I'm going to be dividing up probably into like 5 or 6 different servings, it's still going to be super, super, super low points. So I've not bothered to measure this. Okay, now the piece de resistance. Let's see. I don't use canola oil either. So, oh wait. Are you talking about for the for Debbie's recipe? Okay, we have an extra couple of minutes. Let me see if I can find this. Okay, Debbie says. Okay, for those of you who wanted to know how to make mayonnaise out of the chickpea juice, Debbie says 1/4 cup aquafaba, that's bean juice, 1/4 teaspoon of mustard, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of sugar, 2 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar, 3/4 cup of canola oil. So there was a question about could you use a different kind of oil. Mix all of the ingredients except the oil together in a wide-mouth pint jar and use an immersion blender. When the ingredients are well mixed, stream oil into the mixture in a very thin stream with the blender going. Continue to blend until mixture reaches the desired consistency, and it will thick more when you chill it. That sounds good. And Debbie says, yeah, she uses either avocado or olive oil. Okay, fantastic. That sounds really, really good. We'll have to try that because I do have an immersion blender. Do I? I think I do. Hold on. We won't try that tonight. But I do have an immersion blender, so we will have to try that for another night. Okay, and again, because of the magic of television, I have some already baked tofu. So I have some already baked tofu. Ooh, I just have just enough time. I'm going to sprinkle that on the top. I'm going to take my tongs. Oh, whoops. Oh, and I completely forgot. Cucumber. I had cucumber to go in here too. And it has been more than 15 minutes. Where is my turner? Because we've not turned the tofu. Where is my person with the timer? So, quickly, you just turn the tofu, flip it over while it's cooking. It's supposed to be at the halfway point, didn't quite make it. Okay, well this is just for me, so let's pretend like I turned it all, and I'm going to stick it back in there, but it'll crisp it up on both sides if you do that. Let's let that finish, and I will have even more. I had forgotten about the cucumbers. They were sitting back here all by themselves, so we've got a nice, and tofu has no points, okay? So Loretta wants to know if tofu has points. It absolutely does not have points. No points for the tofu. So the only thing so far that we have put in here that has any points whatsoever, the tofu was spritzed with just a tiny bit of olive oil. If you go crazy with the olive oil, that would have points. But if not, still going to be 0 points. You're not putting enough Bragg nutritional yeast on there to be points. So we've got cucumbers, some baked tofu, we've got chickpeas, those are 0 points. We have some artichoke hearts. Look how pretty this is. Look how fantastically beautiful. Look how fantastically beautiful that is. And then I've got some G. Hughes sugar-free balsamic. We used this when we did the watermelon recipe a couple of weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. Let me put just a little bit of that on there and taste this for you. This is going to be a fantastic, fantastic Greek salad, a Mediterranean salad. Make sure I get a little bite of everything. I need to get an olive in there. There we go. So I've got some baked tofu, a little piece of dressing. So light. Debbie's exactly right. Debbie said now you can afford a crusty piece of bread to go with it. That is exactly right. So that is baked tofu, Mediterranean salad. I'm so glad that I did not eat my supper before we started tonight, because now I get to have a big bowl of this for supper. But I hope, oh, the time is up. I gotta take the tofu out. Okay, so second batch of tofu, crispy and ready to go. I'll let that cool off before I put it in there. Let me go grab Dusty because we had a special request for him. Even though he is going to think this is his, I'll be right back. Bye. So when you all think that I'm kidding about how small, our loft is, I just left the kitchen, went to the living room, and have come back to the kitchen all in about 25 steps. So here is Dusty, and he is, and yes, Sarah, you've got to try tofu. So here is Dusty, and he's like, Mom, I want some tofu because I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. You're not getting any tofu, buddy. No tofu for you. So you are most welcome, Sarah. So I hope y'all enjoyed this recipe. I hope you will try it. It's beautiful. It's delicious. You could put some cranberries in it. You could put some fruit in it if you wanted to. I don't know if you noticed this or not, but I did not put, thank you, Jonna. I did not put the dressing on here until I was ready to eat it. That's the one thing that I would wait. So you can mix all of this together, get it ready, take it to your holiday get together, but wait until you're ready to serve it before you put the dressing on there, just because the dressing, if you leave it on there too long, tends to make this crisp tofu that you just baked in your oven, it tends to make it a little bit soggy. So everybody have a fantastic week. Casey will get this recipe posted in a couple of days. The blog post will be done on www.IfYouHaveAnEgg.com here in just a day or two. The YouTube video should be up by tomorrow night. Again, that's on youtube.com. Search If You Have an Egg. And if you're watching this on YouTube, let that next video roll over because I know you'll enjoy it. And if you have not subscribed yet, please do. If you have any currently displaced, whatever, Jenny Craig friends, please invite them to come and join us. This is not just a Weight Watchers group. Anybody would eat this. I mean, literally anyone. Do not have to be a Weight Watcher to eat this. But I hope you all had a great time. I know I did. And I hope you have a great week. And I will see you next time. Good night.